When 10 Things I Hate About You hit theaters in 1999, it wasn't just another teen rom-com. It was lightning in a bottle. A sharp, modern twist on Shakespeare, it gave us unforgettable characters, iconic moments, and a soundtrack that still resonates decades later. But behind the witty banter and swoon-worthy bleacher serenades are stories most fans never knew. From casting surprises to real-life romances, these are the secrets that make the film even more legendary. So grab your popcorn as we dive into the 20 behind-the-scenes facts every fan needs to know. 1. A Shakespearean spin like no other. You might know 10 Things I Hate About You is based on William Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, but this is no stuffy classroom adaptation. The filmmakers didn't just adapt the play, they flipped it into a modern teen comedy with a feminist edge. Stratford, our sharp-tongued heroine, isn't tamed by anyone. Instead, she's a rebellious force, challenging the patriarchy in a way that feels fresh even today. Screenwriters McCullah and Kirsten took Shakespeare's framework and made it their own, setting the story in a high school where popularity, romance, and betrayal collide. And the result is a timeless classic that's still sparking conversations today. 2. Heath Ledger's big break. This movie was a game changer for a young Australian actor named Heath Ledger. At just 19 years old, 10 Things I Hate About You marked his first U.S. film role. Can you believe it? The magnetic bad boy Patrick Verona was his Hollywood debut, and his raw charisma stole the show. Ledger's performance was so captivating that it launched him into stardom, paving the way for iconic roles in films like Brokeback Mountain and The Dark Knight. It's safe to say that this was the film that changed everything for him. 3. Julia Stiles was the real deal. While Heath was breaking out, Julia Stiles was barely 17 when she auditioned to play Stratford. Her fierce, authentic portrayal of the headstrong feminist icon wasn't just acting. She was channeling her own teenage rebellion. Stiles brought a depth to Cat that made her more than just a shrew. She was a role model for a generation of girls who wanted to embrace intelligence, individuality, and unapologetic confidence. 4. The serenade that stole hearts. Let's talk about that scene, the one where Heath Ledger's Patrick Verona serenades Cat with "Can't Take My Eyes Off You" on the school bleachers. Here's the scoop. Ledger partly improvised the performance, infusing it with his natural charm. And get this, it was filmed in one take. The energy, the marching band, the sheer swoon-worthiness were all spontaneous, all perfect. It's no wonder this moment is seared into rom-com history. 5. A high school fit for a fairy tale. Padua High may be fictional, but the castle-like school is very real. Padua High is actually Stadium High School in Tacoma, Washington. This gorgeous, castle-like building isn't just a set. It's a real school that's become a tourist attraction for fans. With its stunning views of Puget Sound and historic architecture, the school became a character in its own right. It's no wonder why visitors still flock to see the place where Cat and Patrick's love story unfolded. Cat's poem was all heart. If you've ever teared up during Cat's final poem scene, you know, "I hate the way you talk to me and the way you cut your hair." You're not alone. Julia Stiles' heartfelt delivery wasn't just acting. Julia Stiles' tears were completely genuine, pulled from her own emotions in the moment, making that classroom moment one of the most raw and unforgettable scenes in the movie. The vulnerability she brought turned what could have been a typical rom-com ending into something raw, real, and unforgettable. 7. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was basically Cameron. Before he was a Hollywood leading man, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was just a high school kid himself when filming began. Playing the lovable, nerdy Cameron James, he brought an awkward charm that resonated with anyone who's ever had a crush. But here's something interesting. Gordon-Levitt was still balancing his own schoolwork while shooting. Talk about living the role. 8. Why Andrew Keegan was perfect as Joey. Andrew Keegan wasn't just acting when he played the smug, self-absorbed Joey Donner. He was leaning into a persona fans already knew. A certified teen idol thanks to shows like Seventh Heaven, Keegan was cast strategically to lure in his swooning fan base. Keegan's slick charm made Joey the ultimate love-to-hate villain, a role he played to perfection. 9. The title's real-life roots. Ever wonder where the movie's title came from? It wasn't just a catchy phrase. Screenwriter Karen McCullah drew inspiration from her own diary, where she'd written a list of things she hated about an ex-boyfriend. That personal touch gave the film its relatable, authentic heart. Who hasn't wanted to write a 10 things list about someone? 10. Heath almost played Joey. Believe it or not, Heath Ledger originally auditioned for Joey Donner, the cocky model. Imagine that. But the producers saw something deeper in him. Grit, intensity, and charm that suited Patrick Verona. It was a good thing they made the switch because it's hard to picture anyone else serenading Kat on the bleachers. Definitely one of the best casting pivots ever made. 11. Bonding at the real school. The cast didn't just show up and start filming. They spent time rehearsing at Stadium High School. They wandered the halls, sat in classrooms, and got a feel for the space like real students. That extra bonding time paid off. The friendships and banter on screen felt natural because, in many ways, they really did become high school friends. 12. The paintball date was a late addition. The iconic paintball date scene where Kat and Patrick let loose with colorful splatters wasn't in the original script. It was added late in development to show Kat's softer, playful side. All of it gave a vibrant and joyful moment that perfectly balanced Kat's tough interior with her growing vulnerability. 13. Julia's dance moves. Kat's unforgettable tabletop dance at Bogey Lowenstein's party wasn't a work of a choreographer. It was all Julia Stiles. With her background in dance, she crafted those wild, carefree moves herself to capture Kat's rebellious spirit. No wonder it remains one of the film's most iconic moments. 14. The marching band was real. That epic bleacher serenade wasn't just Heath stealing the show. The music didn't come from a studio track. The marching band in the scene was Stadium High's actual band, performing live. That genuine energy gave the performance an extra layer of charm, making it feel both larger than life and completely grounded. 15. The school still gets love letters. Stadium High School has become more than just a filming location. It's a pilgrimage site. Fans are so obsessed with the movie that they still send letters to the school, asking about filming details or sharing their love for the film. Some even visit Tacoma just to walk the halls where Kat and Patrick's story came to life. 16. A soundtrack that slays. The 10 Things I Hate About You soundtrack, featuring bands like Letters to Cleo, is a 90s time capsule. It didn't just set the vibe, it became a cult hit in its own right. Tracks like I Want You to Want Me are still on repeat for fans who can't get enough of that nostalgic sound. It's basically the ultimate 90s mixtape in movie form. 17. Rooftop rock stars. Speaking of Letters to Cleo, their rooftop performance of Cruel to Be Kind wasn't filmed on a soundstage, it was filmed right on the actual roof of Stadium High. Between the band's electric energy and the stunning backdrop, the scene captured pure 90s magic. It's one of those cinematic snapshots you can't forget. 18. Gabriella Union's big break. Long before she was headlining films, Gabriella Union landed one of her first major roles as Chastity, Bianca's sly best friend. Even in her early career, Union's natural charisma shined through, hinting at the breakout success she'd soon have in Bring It On and beyond. 19. Heath was almost too much. It's wild to think about it now, but Heath Ledger almost didn't land the role of Patrick Verona. Early on, producers worried he was too intense for the part, but that very intensity, his alluring edge mixed with charm, is exactly what made Patrick unforgettable. Thankfully, they trusted their instincts and gave him the role that launched his career. 20. A real-life romance. Here's a little bonus gossip to wrap things up. Julia Stiles and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, our Cat and Cameron, reportedly dated briefly after filming wrapped. Their chemistry clearly carried beyond the set, giving fans a fun what-if romance to swoon over long after the credits rolled. More than 25 years later, 10 Things I Hate About You is still as quotable, relatable, and lovable as ever. Whether it's Kat's fiery independence, Patrick's charm, or Cameron's awkward sweetness, every character left their mark. And now that you know the behind-the-scenes scoop, rewatching the film feels even richer. What's your favorite moment from the film? Drop it in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more behind-the-scenes goodies.